In the records of history, one name stands out. A warrior, a leader, a legend. Lapu-Lapu, the year was 1521. The place, a small island in what would become the Philippines. Here a clash of civilizations would unfold, a battle that would shape the course of an entire nation. But who was this man? This defiant chief who dared to challenge the might of Spain. The truth is shrouded in mystery, lost to time, but his legacy? That burns bright to this day. First Filipino hero, Lapu-Lapu, Datu of Mactan, slayer of Magellan. He refused to bow, to pay tribute, to surrender his people's freedom. Here Lapu-Lapu ruled as chief, a man of power, of influence, of unwavering resolve. The story begins on the shores of Mactan, an island paradise. Magellan, with his Spanish steel and gunpowder, faced off against Lapu-Lapu and his warriors. The odds? Overwhelming. Lapu-Lapu's forces outnumbered the invaders 25-1. When Ferdinand Magellan arrived, seeking conquest, Lapu-Lapu stood firm. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. April 27, 1521, the Battle of Mactan. The clash was fierce, brutal. In the end, Magellan fell, and with him, Spain's dreams of easy conquest. Lapu-Lapu's victory echoed through time, delayed Spanish colonization for over 4 decades, a testament to the power of resistance, of defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. Each version, a piece of the puzzle. In 2021, an executive order finally settled on Lapu-Lapu as the official spelling. But who was Lapu-Lapu really? The truth is, we know precious little. Tantalizing glimpse of the man behind the legend. He assumed Rajah Humabon of Cebu held sway over all neighboring islands, including Mactan. He was wrong. Our only primary source, Antonio Pigafetta, Magellan's chronicler, he gives us a name, Lapu-Lapu. His words, his actions outside that fateful battle. Others claim he came from Borneo, settling first in Mondo before making Mactan his home. Beyond that, silence, no detailed descriptions of his appearance. Even his name is shrouded in mystery. Lapu-Lapu, Lapu-Lapu. His early life, a tapestry of folk tales and legends, adorned their bodies with intricate tattoos, all practices forbidden in Islam. Some say he was the son of Datu Mangal, born and raised on Mactan. One thing is certain, Lapu-Lapu was no ordinary chief. It was a collision of worldviews, of cultures, of ways of life. Men who fought not just for their land, but for their very way of life. He ruled Mactan alongside another Doto named Zula. But while Zula submitted to Spanish authority, Lapu-Lapu stood defiant. But they had steel armor, swords, muskets, the most advanced weapons of their day. Why? The answer lies in the complex social structure of pre-colonial Philippines. With their leader gone, the Spanish retreated in disarray. Magellan made a critical error. Humabon, perhaps fearing Spanish reprisal, poisoned 27 of Magellan's men at a feast. Others see it as a desperate attempt to curry favor with Lapu-Lapu. The shallow waters and coral reefs of Mactan worked against the Spanish. They couldn't bring their ships close to shore. Lapu-Lapu was a sovereign in his own right. Some historians even argue he may have been more powerful than Humabon himself. This misunderstanding would prove fatal for Magellan, and pivotal for the future of the Philippines. But what of Lapu-Lapu's beliefs? His culture? Here too, we find surprises. He fades from history as mysteriously as he entered it. His image graces monuments nationwide. His name adorns the seals of the Philippine National Police and Bureau of Fire Protection. Many assume he was Muslim. The evidence suggests otherwise, who fought not just for his island, but for the very idea of freedom. It was in the hearts and minds of his people. Sometimes a single act of defiance can echo through centuries. Lapu-Lapu and his people were likely animists. Followers of the ancient Visayan faith, they worshipped spirits called anidos, revered deities like Abba and Canleon. They ate pork, drank alcohol. These were the pintados, the painted ones. A proud warrior culture that valued strength, honor, and independence. To challenge, to remind us all that freedom is worth fighting for. It was this fierce independence that led Lapu-Lapu to resist Spanish demands for tribute. While Zula cooperated, Lapu-Lapu stood firm. the Battle of Mactan was more than just a clash of arms. Magellan, backed by the might of Spain and the blessing of the Catholic Church, faced off against Lapu-Lapu and his warriors. The Spanish force was small, just 60 men, a name etched in history. A legend that will never die, Lapu-Lapu's warriors. Armed with spears, arrows, and an unbreakable fighting spirit. The battle was fierce, chaotic. Forced to wade through chest-deep water, the invaders were easy targets for Lapu-Lapu's archers. In the thick of the fight, Magellan fell, struck down by a poisoned arrow and a bamboo spear. Lapu-Lapu had won, but the victory came at a cost. In the aftermath, tensions flared between the island chiefs. Some historians speculate this was done to free Enrique Magellan's slave interpreter. Whatever the reason, it marked the end of Spanish ambitions in the Philippines. For a time, what became of Lapu-Lapu after his great victory? Legend says he returned to Borneo with his family. But the truth? Lost to history. No confirmed records exist of his activities after the Battle of Mactan, but his legacy that lives on. Today, Lapu-Lapu is hailed as the first Filipino hero. In 1898, the Philippine Declaration of Independence recognized him as Rey Calipulaco de Mactan, King Calipulaco of Mactan, a fitting tribute to a man who dared to stand against an empire. Lapu-Lapu, more than a warrior, more than a chief, symbol of resistance, of independence, of the indomitable Filipino spirit. His story reminds us that history is not always written by the victors. In the end, Lapu-Lapu's greatest victory was not on the battlefield. A legacy that continues to inspire. Lapu-Lapu.